Hello everyone, and welcome back to part 2 of the gripping true story. My rich grandpa showed up when my mom slammed the door on Christmas. In part 1, Maya's humiliation was cut short by the shocking arrival of her grandfather, Harlan Whittaker, a man the family swore was dead, who appeared with a mysterious ledger, ready to expose their lies. Now, in the extended part 2, the Christmas audit turns deadly. Harlan's ledger becomes a weapon, ripping apart not just the financial fraud of Maya's mother, Diane, but also revealing a sinister conspiracy that destroyed Maya's father, Arthur. As the family collapses, the stakes escalate from mere inheritance to a matter of life and death, confirming that the Whittaker estate is a dynasty built on secrets and violence. Maya is suddenly thrust into a shadow war, forced to safeguard the legacy code, the key to the entire empire. As a professional assassin, KAI closes in. Get ready, because the game has just turned into a fight for survival. My rich grandpa showed up when my mom slammed the door on Christmas. Part 2, the auditor's entry. The front door, now securely shut, left the foyer charged with an electric tension. The heavy scent of pine from the Christmas tree felt suffocating and false. Harlan Whittaker, my grandfather, stood in the center of the room, his silence a palpable force that seemed to drain the color from the festive decorations. Diane was rooted to the spot, her face pale beneath her heavy makeup. Brittany peered anxiously from the living room archway. Harlon, low, commanding, his voice resonating with cold authority, the time for performance is over. This is not a social call, it is a court of inquiry. Diane, you will sit. You forfeited the right to stand when you decided to commit fraud. Diane's resistance crumbled. She reluctantly sat at the dining table, across from the head chair. Maya, took the chair Harlan indicated, placing the white envelope of debt receipts next to Harlan's thick, leather-bound ledger. Harlon, settling into the head of the table, opening the ledger, let us begin with the illusion of my catastrophic death. A necessary component for your $120,000 drawdown from the Family Emergency Medical Trust, FEMT. DIANE. Voice trembling, trying desperately to sound logical. Father, please. That was a liquidity issue. The estate accounts were frozen pending the will reading. I was forced to use the FEMT as temporary collateral to maintain the family's position. Harlon. Scoffs, tapping the ledger with a gold pen, temporary collateral for the purchase of the fortune's darling. A yacht. Your memo line. Initial deposit for life-saving surgery. Whose life were you saving, Diane? He slid a document across the table. It was a purchase order. Harlon. You signed a contract with Oceanic Escapes, stipulating the vessel was for personal leisure and high society networking. There is no charter clause. You secured that loan through Charles Thorne in exchange for 10% of your expected inheritance. You didn't steal to survive, Diane. You stole to upgrade your holiday profile. Did your father, the supposed heart patient, truly require custom Italian teak decking at $8,500 for his recovery? Diane slumped back, her perfect composure shattered. Brittany, who had crept closer, whispered to her mother. Brittany, Charles, why would he? Diane, hissing at Brittany, her voice full of venom, quiet. This is adult business. Harlan closed the financial ledger and picked up the digital tablet. His gaze was now focused solely on me. Harlon. To Maya now, the systemic abuse. Diane informed the family board that Maya was an irresponsible financial drain, a necessary exclusion from the trust. Maya, did you know that the $31,950 you transferred to her over the last 2 years, your hard-earned money, was not logged as debt repayment? I shook my head, feeling a cold sickness spread through me. Harlon, she logged your money as repayment for Maya's reckless spending. She used your money as manufactured evidence of your own lack of control. She weaponized your compassion. Diane. Shrieking defensively, her voice cracking, it was my right. She's my daughter, it's family money, she's too successful. I was managing the family's image. Harlon, you were collaborating to destroy a life. Let's talk about Arthur. He played a file on the tablet. A grainy video recording began, showing Diane in a private meeting, her voice cold and distinct. DIANE recording, the bankruptcy won't be enough. Arthur needs to be professionally gutted. I need the SEC filing to show malfeasance, not just insolvency. He needs to lose his license and his name. Make him disappear. The audio ended. The house was frighteningly silent. Maya, standing up, pushing her chair back, confronting her mother directly that wasn't a financial scandal. That was you. All those years I thought my father, Arthur, was a coward who abandoned me because he failed. You ruined him. DIANE. Hysterical, completely defeated, he was going to take everything. It was self-defense. He wouldn't sign the papers the way Charles Thorne wanted. Harlon. Standing, slamming his cane tip on the floor, the sound echoing silence. The audit is concluded. Verdict: theft, fraud, and criminal conspiracy against a family member. Diane, you are disinherited. But this is where the real game begins. Harlon's posture instantly shifted from judge to a military strategist. Harlon. The money is secondary. The true asset is the legacy code. It is the decentralized authorization key, a microchip that controls every hidden trust, every offshore account, and the succession protocol for the entire global network. Maya, my voice is strained and you think I need to know this. Why? Harlon. Because the moment I arrived, my security protocols were compromised. The internal opposition knows I am alive. They know I have transferred custodianship of the legacy code to the one person who cannot be bought. You. This dynasty is not governed by a will. It is governed by the protocol of seclusion. My staged death was to enforce that protocol, to ensure the code remained untouched for 20 years. By returning, and by attempting to transfer the code outside of the designated succession window, I have violated the protocol itself. DIANE. Panicked, pointing to the shattered window, that's the enforcement clause. They said if the code was moved, the clause would activate. Charles Thorne warned me. Harlon. Voice is grave and chilling. The enforcement clause authorizes the immediate elimination of any party, including the Grand Tour, meaning me, who compromises the integrity of the code. They aren't just coming for the money, Maya. They are coming to execute the protocol. They will target the designated heir. DIANE. Screaming, her eyes darting between Harlon and the window. They're here. They'll kill us all. Charles promised me safety. He lied. Harlon. They will not kill you, Diane. They will use you as bait. They are coming for the code. Suddenly, the lights flicker violently, sparking from the Christmas tree surge protector, and then plunge the entire house into absolute, instantaneous darkness. Harlon. Voice is sharp and tactical, code black. They've breached the main power lines. They are on the property. The sound of shattering glass as a large figure in black ballistic gear smashes through the living room window is deafening. Snow and glass spray across the carpet. A second figure follows, moving with unnatural speed. Harlon. 30 seconds, Maya. The pantry door. WHIEKR 1954. Harlon grabs the mahogany dining chair and hurls it with surprising strength into the path of the first assassin, using the heavy furniture to create an immediate, makeshift barricade. Harlon. Shouting as he grabs his cane, Diane, Brittany, get low, this is an execution. Harlon quickly unscrews the silver cap of his cane, retrieving the glowing microSD card. Harlon. Throwing the chip toward me, the legacy code. You are the custodian, your survival is paramount, move. I lurch toward the kitchen, my heart pounding against my ribs, the tiny, cold chip clenched in my hand. Behind me, the muffled but brutal sounds of Harlon engaging the assassin erupt, the thud of impact, a sharp cry, and the crash of the silver cutlery drawer falling. I reach the kitchen door, fumbling for the keypad. My hand trembles, but I force myself to focus. Maya, muttering to myself desperately WHITAKER 1954. The lock clicks. I rip the door open and slam it shut behind me, racing toward the pantry. HARLON. A strange shout from the dining room, laced with pain. Maya, not the code. Keep moving. I reach the pantry door, tearing aside the racks of spice jars. The steel door to the panic room is revealed. Just as I yank the handle, the kitchen door behind me is ripped off its hinges with a sickening screech of wood and metal. The first assassin, KAI, stands in the frame, illuminated by a faint red light from his helmet. KAI, voice distorted and chilling, the code is not worth dying for long. Compliance is advised. The analyst requires the data. He raises a silenced, dark object, a weapon. I dive into the dark steel box of the panic room, yanking the massive steel door shut just as a deafening bang rings out. The sound is muffled by the heavy door, but the impact is real. The bullet strikes the metal right next to my ear. I slide the heavy bolts home, plunging into total, absolute darkness and silence. I am safe, but alone, clutching the microchip. I can only hear the frantic, gasping rhythm of my own breath. Harlan is gone, defeated by the war he started, and the most dangerous game in the world has just handed me the controls. To be continued in Part 3, The Wrecking Ball.